Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira vanachari Yamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira vanachari Yamunatira vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada जय श्री श्री राधा माधव अष्ट सखी वृंदा की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayeshva Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to all the devotees to our regular discussion on the Srimad Bhagavatam. This morning we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 16, chapter entitled Jaya and Vijaya Curse by the Sages. Text number 25. Yam vānayor damam adhīśa bhavān vidhatte vṛttiṁ tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam asmāsu ucito dhriyatāṁ daṇḍo ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa yam vānayor damam adhīśa bhavān vidhatte vṛttim tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam asmāsu ucito dhriyatām daṇḍo ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa. Please chant. Yan vānayor damam adhīśa bhavān vidhatte vṛttim tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam dhriyatām daṇḍo ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa yam vānayor damam adhīśa bhavān vidhatte vṛttim tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam asmāsu ucito dhriyatāṁ daṇḍo ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa. vṛttim tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam asmāsu ucito dhriyatāṁ daṇḍo Ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa. Mataji. You can't see. Maybe you have in your smartphone the verse. Yan vānayor damam adhīśa bhavān vidhatte. Vṛttiṁ nuva tad anumanmahi nirvyalīkam. Asmāsu ucito dhriyatāṁ daṇḍo. Ye nāgasau vayam ayuṅkṣmahi kilbiṣeṇa. Yam, which, or, anayoḥ, of both of them, damam, punishment, adhīśa, O Lord, bhavān, your Lordship, vidhatte, awards, vṛttiṁ, better existence, nu, certainly, or, tat, that, anumanmahi, we accept, nirvyalīkam, without duplicity, asmāsu, to us, or, yaha, whichever, ucitaḥ, is proper, dhriyatām, may be awarded, saha, that, daṇḍaḥ, punishment, ye, who, anagasau, sinless, vayam, we, ayuṅkṣmahi, allotted, kilbiṣeṇa, with a curse. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Kindly repeat. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Purport. The sages, the four Kumaras, now reject their cursing of the two doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of the Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord, or who actually engages in the transcendental loving service, has all the good qualities of the demigods. Therefore, the devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement, that should not be taken very seriously. The cursing of Jaya and Vijaya is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance. They are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu, or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. Om ajnana-timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam panglungvam hayate girim yat kripa tamahang vande Shri Gurun dinataranam Paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya Eshwaram Katanchana smrite yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam shyat Shri Chaitanya namamitam. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. It's really hot. When the fan was off, I was thinking like, oh, we're going to get baked now. Yeah, but the principle is that sadhyo hridya vidhatte tra kritivi susru subhistat sanat. So simply by eagerly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord will become manifest into our heart. So take this as tapasya, as tapo divyam, as Rishabhadev Maharaj taught us, tapo divyam, meaning we sacrifice our comfort for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. So thank you so much. Come back to this verse. We may take this verse and Srila Prabhupada's purport as granted. We may think, oh, this is a justification, yeah, if we do something wrong. Yeah, but yes, of course, here it is very clearly, Srila Prabhupada explained that a devotee who completely engaged in the service of the Lord will not have any fault at any stage. Now this sounds like, oh, so much relief for all of us here. Isn't it? Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunais tatra samaste suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manoratena sati dhavato bahihi. So Prahlad Maharaj confirmed that a devotee who is engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord automatically possess the good qualities of all the demigods. Yeah. In another hand, hara abhaktasya kuto mahad guna. And for the non-devotees, what good qualities do they have? Manoratena sati dhavato bahihi. Because their minds simply dragged by the illusory energy of the Lord. Yeah. So, but again, if we're not mature enough in our understanding, in studying the Bhagavatam, in studying the Bhaktivedanta purport, we may fall victim of this kind of explanation. So Srila Prabhupada also gave the hint of the verse from the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, yeah, text 30. Yeah, api chat suduracharo bhajanti mam ananyabhak sadur eva samantavyak samvyak vyavasito hi saha. So suduracharaha means abominable, gross, sinful activities. But if we think, how can a devotee who practice Krishna consciousness commit some gross sinful activities? Well, it could be, as Srila Prabhupada explained here, due to some past habit. And remember, Maya is always one step behind us. She is always looking the opportunity to find that if we're not careful enough, she may enter, yeah, and we may commit some mistake. Suduracharaha, gross, abominable, but sadur eva. But how, as devotees, this is the position, if we see some other devotees commit some mistake, we should still respect that devotees as long as that devotees are ready to rectify himself and come back to his or her good practice in Krishna consciousness. But we should not take advantage of that verse from the Bhagavad Gita to justify our mistake. Yeah? Therefore, Lord Krishna says in the next verse, Ksipram bhavati dharmatma saswachantim nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashanti. So very soon, Krishna said, it's very soon, he will be established in his fixed position in Krishna consciousness. So what makes the devotees that Krishna promised, Kaunteya name bhakta pranashanti? What makes the devotees can never be perished? He's practicing again with sense of regret. In the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the pastime of Ajamila, it is described there that simply by regretting his action, simply by the fire of regret, that's actually enough to burn all Ajamila's sinful reaction in the past. But how is that regret should be done? It should be done very, very seriously. It should be done very, very seriously. Meaning that we may commit some mistake, we may fall down, or in the worst scenario, we may break 1, 2, 3, even 4 of the regulative principles. But the point here is that we should come back again to our senses and continue our practice as practicing devotees, as sadhakas. Otherwise, if we commit some mistake, and then again we commit the same mistake, so that is not accidental fall down. In the purport of the Bhagavad Gita, 9.30, Srila Prabhupada is talking about accidental fall down due to some temporary circumstances. So accidental fall down meaning you may commit some mistake, but you come back to your good practice in Krishna consciousness and never commit the mistake again. Because as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that to err is human. In the Upanishad, in the introduction, as well as in the text number 18 of the Sri Upanishad, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the same thing again. To err is human. But don't take this statement of Srila Prabhupada to make justification. Again, I'm saying here. We may say, oh yes, Srila Prabhupada said that to err is human. But don't just be human, be a devotee. Be a devotee. Yes, if we commit some mistake, we should admit. And then with sincerity, we have to, apologize to the Lord, apologize to our Guru, apologize to everyone. Apologize to ourselves. May not be so easy to admit when we commit some mistake. But a devotee, a brave devotee, will always admit the mistake that he has done in his life and try to become a better devotee. Of course, Narad Muni also explained in the 1st canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer bhajan napakvo tapatet tato yadi yatra kvava badrama bhuttamusyakim kovarta apto bhajatam swadharmataha. There is no loss if a devotee in the beginning stage of his practice somehow or other fall down. Tyaktva swadharmam. Because in the beginning, he has promised himself to give up all other dharmas and just surrender to Krishna. We may find ourselves in such a situation that in the beginning we are very enthusiastic. We think that, okay, now is the time to surrender to Krishna. We give up all other dharma and just, as Krishna mentioned, that mamekam saranam vraja, surrender to Krishna. But being sadhakas, being devotees who are just in the beginning of our practice, we may fall down. Bhajana pakko tapatet tato yadi. Yatra kwa babadram abhuttamusyakim kovarta abto bhajatam swadharmataha. But there is no loss. There is no loss in our practice in Krishna consciousness, although we may fall down in some stage of our practice. So that's the beauty of devotional service. If you have, for example, 1 lakh rupees in your bank account, that 1 lakh rupee may not remain in your bank account. Somehow or other, you may spend it, or some cyber crime will take it in a second. I have experience like that, 1.25 lakhs just finished in a second. And I was shocked, like, what's going on? But that's an alarm actually for all of us here, that material credit will never stay forever. But devotional service, the credit of bhakti, will remain. Will remain, even if, hopefully not, even if we may fall down from our practice. But hopefully not. Keep associating with the devotees, keep praying to Radha Madhava, to Panchatattva, Plurality Shingadev. Because we may feel that, oh, I'm on the air now. Yes, I come to Mangalarati every day, to Darshanarati every day, and never fail to chant my 16 rounds. And then we feel like, oh, I'm too high, and suddenly, boom! We just fall on the ground. And we think like, oh, Krishna, alas, what's going on here? So, anything may happen. Anything may happen, even when we think, and we should not think actually, that we are now in a good situation in our Krishna consciousness. Always think that we are fallen. That's the safest condition in our practice. So, padam padam yadvi padam. There is always dangers in every step. So practicing devotional service seems to be easy. Easy in comparison with any other spiritual practices for perfection. But if you really go deep into it, if you really go deep into it, it may not be as easy as what people think. Oh, these Hare Krishna people they know only to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Nothing else they know. People may think like that. And people may think that Krishna consciousness practice is easy. But in fact, there are so many things involved in devotional service. There are so much details that we have to pay attention. Otherwise, if we're not careful, then anything may happen to us. Anything may happen to us. Just keep praying. That's the thing. I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote here. On that verse of Apichet Suduracharo, because I found it's very interesting. Srila Prabhupada mentioned, this is the last part of the purport. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that the devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connection. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs, as previously explained. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. So, be careful. If we see other devotees commit mistake, still we have to respect that devotee, as long as he is practicing again. But in our case, we should not take advantage of this kind of statement from the Shastra. So come back to this pastime again. Here the Kumaras, they repented. Yeah, they regretted that they have cursed Jaya and Vijaya. Yeah, but if we trace back the history, how Jaya and Vijaya got cursed by the Kumaras, actually Lakshmi Devi was involved. You have heard the pastime? That one day, Lakshmi Devi, because she's the goddess of fortune, and she is obliged to fulfill the material desire of the devotees. So sometimes she's in Vaikunta, sometimes she has to come to, to attend the needs of the devotees, of the Lord's devotees. Yeah. So one day she was out of Vaikunta to fulfill the material needs of the Lord's devotees, because, not all of us may be pure devotee here. We may struggle in our life, and we may ask the Lord honestly, "Oh Lord, I'm having such and such difficulties. Oh, I need some money. Oh, I need some job, blah, 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 blah," and so on. Yeah. And then Lakshmi Devi comes and fulfill the needs. Yeah. So upon returning to Vaikunta, so now Lord Narayana, he was taking rest, yeah, in his yoga nidra. So when Lakshmi Devi about to enter the gate of Vaikunta, Jaya and Vijaya stop her. "Oh, sorry, the Lord is taking rest. Nobody is allowed to disturb the Lord," because Lord Narayana already told both of them, "Please, I want to take rest." Well, somehow or other, he just want to take rest, okay? He told Jaya and Vijaya, "I want to take rest. Nobody is allowed to come inside and disturb me." So Jaya and Vijaya, being obedient servants of the Lord, yeah. So even Lakshmi Devi, when she came back, yeah, so they stopped her. And then Lakshmi Devi cursed Jaya and Vijaya within her mind, not verbally, just within her mind. She got annoyed. But she was patiently waiting until she was allowed to enter. But she was cursing Jaya and Vijaya within her mind. What lesson that we can take here? Be careful. Even if we offend the devotee, mentally, that might be bring so much trouble into our life. Yeah. And we will find later on when Lord Narayana comes out. Yeah, he came to the gate and pacified both parties. Yeah, because there was some quarrel here between the Kumaras and Jaya and Vijaya. Lord Narayana pacified both parties and explained, actually, this is my desire. Yeah, this is my desire. First of all, I want to exhibit my virya rasa, to fight. But here in Vaikunta, it is not possible to express that desire. So Jaya and Vijaya should come down to the material world and will have a great battle with me. And on the other hand, I want to fulfill the desire of Lakshmi Devi. So that was, the whole thing is involved here. Yeah. But what is a great lesson that we can take here? First of all, be careful of being judgmental. As Srila Prabhupada mentioned here very nicely, yeah, we should not find fault on the devotees who are engaged properly in the transcendental service of the Lord. First of all, fault-finding mentality is so detrimental, because when we somehow or other, if we make fault-find to become our hobby, yeah, no matter what devotee is doing, even if they're doing great service, because of our impurities in our mind and in our heart, we still always find some fault on that devotee and cannot appreciate. Failing to appreciate the good qualities of a devotee is actually dragging our love for Krishna just going down so much. Yeah? That's the first thing. Be careful dealing with the devotees, especially don't be judgmental. Yeah. Second, as in the beginning I mentioned, don't take advantage of this kind of statement from the Shastra. Yeah. So I will read again the translation of the verse. We have 15 minutes, whether any question, comments. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sure.
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that we should not find fault. So, what we should do? Can you elaborate on that, please, more?
Yes.
We should not do. So, we should not find fault. Then what we should do? Means how to apply it.
Thank you. Everybody heard the question? No? So I will repeat. Thank you, Prabhu, for such a nice question. So, as I mentioned that we should not find fault on devotees. But what if we see somebody is doing some mistake? How we should deal with the situation? That's basically your question, right? So, here's the thing. If you are in a position of an authority of that particular devotee, you can speak out. Because you are responsible. Yeah, Guru nasasyat, swajano nasasyat, pita nasasyat, janani nasasyat, daivam natatsyan, napatischa sasyan, namo chayet ya samupetyam vṛttiṁ. You are responsible for your dependent. First of all, if you are in a position of an authority for that particular devotee, you can speak out. You are not finding the fault, but you try to rectify the person. And if you are not in a position of being an authority, somehow or other you see that the devotee doing some mistake and your mind now becomes disturbed. What you should do? You should report his behavior to his authority. Because, for example, you are doing mistake, I'm not your authority, but I try to speak out about your mistake, you may get offended. Because I don't have the adhikar. I don't have the right. But you have your in charge. I may speak to your in charge. And your in charge will deal properly with you. That's the proper way how to deal with the devotees who seems to be, okay, committing some mistakes. That's second. The third, because we never know what is that devotee going through in his life. We may very easily just making our quick judgment on the devotee's life, but we never understand what is actually he's going through. Isn't it? Unless we put his shoes on our feet, then we will understand. Because in principles, nobody, no devotee would love to commit mistake. Yeah, nobody desire to commit mistake. But somehow or other, we may commit mistake. So don't be judgmental because we don't know what is that particular devotee struggle with. Yeah, rather we need to pray. Pray for that devotee. So that's my response. Yeah, namo chayetya samupetyam vṛttiṁ. You should not become an authority if you cannot promise to deliver your dependence. And if you're not in a position of an authority, better not to speak out because you may create some friction. But if you are his best friend, for example, you can say whatever. He will not get offended. That's the thing. If you are not an authority or if you are not his close friend, we better hold up our speech, watch your vayam, yeah, hold up and wait and report and let the authority deal with him. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you for the class. Prabhuji, you mentioned one very interesting point, like how Lakshmi Devi in the mind, she cursed,
Yeah.
In our day-to-day dealings, with Vaishnavas, this factor comes in that devotee in the mind may be offended. He tolerates, but he is offended by me. Or I may offend someone in the mind, and it has effect. That offense will have effect and our bhakti goes down. So in such a case, like he has tolerated, like he is okay, like he is going through again. He may forget later that, but he has, or I have committed that offense in the mind, especially those who have Brahman initiated, then it becomes more, what you can say, severe, that offense becomes more severe. If they think something bad, some offense curse, then it's like, it's going to be very heavy. So in such a situation, what do we do, bro? Like we don't understand. He has tolerated in the mind, or cursed in the mind. Outside he's tolerating. So in such a case, what is our hope? And it's very risky in the material world, in Kali Yuga especially. So can you please throw some light?
Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to make the point that this is a very bold statement, that not all the devotees who get second initiated are brahmanas. Yeah, Varna is defined by guna and karma. Yeah, you may get this thread, but this thread does not make you brahmana. Even the Vaishya and Kshatriyas putting on sacred thread. This is just a license for us to worship the deities, actually. So Kshatriya can worship the deities. Vaishyas also can worship the deities. But brahmana means, samodama tapasaucham santir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. So everything is defined by guna and karma, by your nature and your activities. That's first of all. Second, regarding your question now, if we in a position that we are being offended, so better don't hold up the grudge. It's like, I'm sorry, this is a gross example, it's just like a stool in the stomach. The longer you hold, you will feel the pressure and pain in your belly. Just release it. Just as I heard many times His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentioning, forgive and forget. It's not easy. Honestly, it's not easy. It happened to me many times. I get annoyed, I get offended personally by some devotees. And how can I forgive and forget so easily? But it takes practice. But if you master the art to forgive and forget, you will become peaceful. You become dhira. You become shanti. Yeah? That's first thing. If you are in a position of being offended by other devotees, don't hold the grudge. I would say it is natural to feel annoyed, but just, if you can, just forgive that devotees. Yeah? And in other hand, if somehow or other we may commit some mistake, some offense against the lotus feet of some devotees, good if you aware about it, immediately you have to apologize. Whether he or she will forgive you or not, you should apologize sincerely. But what to do now if you cannot, if you're not aware that you are committing some mistake? Here is the thing, you will notice someone, if he or she annoyed by you or get offended by you, his behavior, her behavior immediately change toward you. You should immediately ask, is there anything I did wrong? Yeah? Because we can relate to the people around us. Oh, yesterday he was smiling at me, but why not today? So ask, make sure. Yeah, that's a practical way to approach such a situation. Make sure. Okay, I'm sorry. Please tell me if I have done some mistake. But generally, devotees are always very, very kind. If you apologize to them, they will immediately forgive. Yeah, forgive and forget, hopefully. So that's the way. But all the time we must be very careful dealing with the devotees, because now another question might appear, what if that devotee will not forgive me? I have asked this question to His Holiness Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Swami Maharaj, that what if we offend a devotee and then that we sincerely apologize and that devotee doesn't want to forgive us? And Maharaj replied, that is his dealing with Krishna. The main thing, you sincerely ask for forgiveness from that devotee. Offer your obeisances. Hare Krishna. Okay, I think we can stop for now. And thank you so much for being patient in such a hot weather in listening to the narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Jai Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.